The origins of ancient Egypt are a subject of great interest. While it is rare to have concrete evidence about the exact time when a culture was born, the Egyptians are one of the few African cultures that have both material and written evidence of their origins and first pharaohs. Join us as we explore the history of the beginnings of ancient Egypt. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to stay up to date with our latest content. The Naphtha Beach culture, pioneers of astronomy. Before becoming one of the largest empires in antiquity, ancient Egypt was comprised of a series of small towns near the Nile River basin, around 10,000 years before Christ. One of the earliest cultures of this period was the Naphtha Beach culture, located in the Nubian desert, about 800 kilometers south of Cairo. This culture is estimated to be between 10,000 and 5,000 years old and is considered a pioneer in the development of the first chronology of the region, which has been estimated to be between 6,100 and 5,800 years before Christ, 1,000 years older than Stonehenge in Britain. According to astrophysicist Thomas Brown, the megaliths may have served as astronomical observatories due to the alignment of the stones with the rotation of stars in the Orion belt, which has a cycle that repeats approximately every 25,000 years, and is presided over by the equinoxes. Remains of cattle were also found in stone chambers with elaborate clay roofs, which could be the first indications of the origins of the goddess Hathor cult, represented by a cow. The Fayum culture inhabited the oasis of the same name, located around 80 kilometers southwest of Cairo. It is estimated that they lived between 5,200 and 4,000 BCE. Remains of granaries containing wheat and barley, chimneys, and houses made of reeds with straw roofs have been discovered. Their main tools included stone axes, knives, and arrowheads, suggesting they hunted for food. Later, around 4000 BCE, the Emergence culture emerged in Lower Egypt. This culture was focused on agriculture and lived in huts, creating terracotta figures of cattle. They raised sheep, goats, cows, pigs, and domesticated dogs. Their funeral rituals typically involved burying their dead in a fetal position, covered with mats or animal skins, in shallow oval pits near their homes. The Badari culture, which emerged between 4400 and 3800 BCE, was also agricultural and raised livestock like its predecessors. However, they were the first to create cemeteries in ancient Egypt, with the Batan necropolis near Asiut on the right bank of the Nile being one of the most important. These tombs contained rich funeral goods, including jewelry, necklaces, amulets, ceramic vessels, and ivory or stone spoons. According to German Egyptologist Elijah Nehau, around 4000 BCE, the Darien culture split into two, the Madi Buto culture in Lower Egypt and the Quadi culture in Upper Egypt. The Madi Buto culture, located near the Nile Delta, introduced copper exploitation in the region and, according to Egyptologist Michael Hoffman, was also responsible for the domestication of the first donkeys. In ancient Egypt, transport vessels filled with oil or grease were brought from southern Canaan to the land of the Pharaohs. This culture was known for its cabins made of clay with fireplaces and chimneys, some of which were underground. They also had granaries where remains of wheat, barley, lentils, and peas have been found. The people of this culture were also dedicated to fishing. According to German Egyptologist Werner Kaiser, the culture went through three stages. The first stage, dated between 4000 and 3500 BCE, saw improvements in crafts made from ceramics, bone, and ivory. There was also a population expansion towards the south and the exchange of raw materials such as lapis lazuli from what is now Afghanistan. Funerary practices saw the emergence of larger tombs for leaders and smaller, simple tombs for commoners, which contained not only human remains but also animal remains including antlers. The first large city, New, emerged during this stage and exerted great influence in the region for 5 centuries. With the arrival of the second stage, Nu was displaced by the city-state of Hieracompolis, which began centralizing the region and subjugating smaller populations. Hieracompolis was especially important in Egyptian culture as it was where the first signs of hieroglyphics and the first temple in Egyptian history were created. The city was also responsible for the oldest Egyptian myths. Finally, around 3000 BCE, the cities of Cbit and Anís emerged. Anís became the city in control of Norte and Madi, and expanded to Nubia, Tim. It was also responsible for developing the first proper hieroglyphics, sail navigation, the first pictograms, seals for each sovereign, the first royal cemeteries, and the first irrigation works. Anís was the site of the emergence of the first Egyptian dynasty, Narmer, who became the first pharaoh. According to Egyptian priest and historian Manetho, before the emergence of the first pharaohs, each city-state had its own kings, one of which was Horus, also known as King Scorpion. After the death of Horus, control of Hieracompolis and the other subjected cities fell to Tim, and was handed over to his son, the first proper pharaoh, who ruled for 60 years, and unified the territories of Upper and Lower Egypt. Initially, Narmer was thought to be a mythological king, but a series of archaeological discoveries proved his existence. The first of these was a series of mural paintings representing Narmer in Hieracompolis, discovered by archaeologist James Esquivel in 1898. Then in 1993, archaeologist Gontaro Tri discovered a macehead bearing Narmer's name. The name of Narmer was discovered in the 21st century on the list of ancient pharaohs in the tomb of Ika located in Tunis. However, not much is known about his rule. It is believed that Narmer was the creator or designer of the city of Memphis, with his son Aha. It is also speculated that he may have been married to Queen Nate Otter and the pharaoh physician. After Narmer's death, his son Aha became pharaoh and married Princess Benedict of Lower Egypt. According to historian Julius Africanus, Aha did not have children with his wife, but had 10 children with one of his concubines. Aha ruled Egypt for 70 years, during which he built a palace in Memphis, created the Hervey fortress in Saqqara necropolis, and a temple dedicated to the goddess of war, Nate, in Sais in Lower Egypt. He is also credited with conducting the first anatomical studies and autopsies in Egypt. The Palermo stone suggests that he traded with Canaan and was in conflict with Nubia and Libya. Aha's name is found on numerous objects in Sinis and Saqqara, and ivory tablets depict him celebrating possible commemorative festivals of the kingdom's unification. After Aha's death, Queen Mary Nate, beloved of Nate, married Medinate and had 2 children, Ten and another unknown child. Little is known about Ten's rule, but he is believed to have built Valentinis and the necropolis of a cafe, where he is believed to have been buried. The tomb became a center of worship and a destination for pilgrims several centuries after his death. He is estimated to have ruled between 57 and 39 years. After Ten's death, Queen Mary Nate assumed the title of pharaoh around 2000 BC as her sons were too young to rule. Later, Medinate's name was linked to her descendants in a later tomb in Electropolis of Saqqara, revealing that she was a woman. Little is known about her rule except that she, like her son Ten, continued to build funerary monuments in Times and may have arranged her son's marriage to Queen Aganit. Queen Mary Nate survived her son and, according to Manton, ruled Egypt for many years without leaving descendants or making major innovations, except for the introduction of copper in the production of tools and decorative objects, which was unique to Madi Bhutto BM culture. The conqueror pharaoh who officially held the title of ruler of Upper and Lower Egypt was Pharaoh Narmer, who was finally discovered in the 21st century by Khyber, although the process of unifying Upper and Lower Egypt had begun during Narmer's rule. The name of a pharaoh was found in the tombs of Ika in Tunisia. Although there is limited information about his rule, he is believed to have played a role in the creation or design of the city of Memphis, along with his son Asia. He may have also been married to Queen Netotta and a physician Pharaoh. After Narmer's death, his son Totti became pharaoh and married Princess Benedict of Lower Egypt. According to Julius Africanus, Totti had children with one of his concubines, a singer, but not with his wife. 10 is the only known child so far. Manetho recorded that Totti became pharaoh at the age of 30 and ruled for 70 years. His major works include building a palace in Memphis, creating the Hervé fortress in Saqqara, and dedicating a temple to the goddess of war, Nate. He is also credited with being the first to conduct anatomical studies and autopsies in Egypt. The Palermo stone suggests that Totti traded with Canaan, engaged in wars with the kingdoms of Nubia and Libya, and his name appears on objects found in Thebes and Saqqara. Some ivory tablets depict him celebrating possible commemorative festivals, and on one plate, he is shown performing a ritual sacrifice. After Totti's death, his mother, Medinate, married Queen Mary Nate, with whom she had 2 children, Tenon and Dias. Little is known about Dias's rule except for building a Valentinius and the necropolis of a cafe, where he was likely buried. The tomb became a site of worship and pilgrimage centuries after his death. Queen Mary Nate assumed the title of pharaoh after her husband's death and ruled for many years while her sons were still young. It was later discovered that she was a woman when her name was linked to her descendants in a tomb located in the necropolis of Saqqara. Little is known about her rule except that she continued the construction of funerary monuments in Tunisia, and may have arranged the marriage of her son with Queen Aganet. Dias ruled Egypt for 23 years and died without leaving descendants or making major innovations, except for introducing copper in the production of tools and decorative objects. Pharaoh Na was the first to officially hold the title of ruler of Upper and Lower Egypt and established religious rituals that were followed by subsequent pharaohs. Cryptography is a method of encoding messages to protect sensitive information. There are 2 types of ciphers: symmetric ciphers, which use the same key for encryption and decryption, and asymmetric ciphers, which use a pair of keys. Symmetric ciphers include ice, day, and blowfish, while asymmetric ciphers include RSA, elliptic curve cryptography, and Diffie-Hellman. Cryptography plays a crucial role in computer and network security, ensuring the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of sensitive information. It is used in various applications such as secure communications, digital signatures, and secure storage. With that, the story of the brave hero comes to an end. However, the journey continues. If you enjoyed the story, be sure to subscribe to our channel for more exciting tales and share this video with your friends. Let us continue to explore the wonders of the world together.